A fight for their freedom. Henry McCollum and Leon in 30 years in prison while maintaining their innocence. Eventually, the truth did set them free. Andrew Carter with the News and Observer going in depth with Brown and McCollum, who are now in a new federal rights case, in some ways still fighting to prove their innocence. Andrew, bring us up to speed on this, from conviction to this new case.
Well, it's been a long road, and this is really a story about how difficult it is to just hold police accountable. This is a federal civil rights case that has been working its way through the court system since 2015, so that's about 6 years now, and finally it's about to go to trial at some point soon. It was supposed to go to trial last summer, but basically the crux of it is these guys spent 30 years in prison for a rape and murder that they did not commit, and the police basically are still arguing that they did nothing wrong. They refuse to admit any wrongdoing. They refuse to acknowledge, any sort of responsibility for what these guys endured, and so it's just been a long legal fight to try to hold police accountable.
Now, we saw the video while you were talking of their release and their embrace of family members. What is the latest from the family members and the two men themselves?
Well, it's been a struggle for these guys. They spent 30 years in prison again. They're both intellectually disabled. They had IQs in the 50s. They were subjected to a very coercive confession when they were teenagers. When Henry was 19, Leon was 15 years old. When they signed these statements, they were basically told, if you don't sign these statements, we're going to put you in the gas chamber. And these guys at the time thought that the police had the unilateral authority just to make that happen. And so, as you can imagine, after 30 years in prison, it's been a difficult road for them to transition back into society over the past 6 years. Henry, fortunately for him, is more stable and can live on his own. His younger half-brother, Leon Brown, it's been difficult for him. He's been in and out of psychiatric facilities. He deals with mental illness. He's been in and out of group homes. He's just been through a hellacious ordeal, going through the aftermath of everything that he experienced in prison. So that's also part of the story, just the fact that, what they endured when they were locked up and incarcerated over 3 decades for something that they did not do again, and the police, again, refuses to take any responsibility for what happened to these men.
Andrew Carter with the News and Observer, we thank you for being with us. Andrew's article on Henry McCollum and Leon Brown is now on the News and Observer, and you can find that link on abc11.com.